A lot of the hype around AI is to use AI to write text for you, but the results can often be quite underwhelming. If you have access to an AI-enabled word processor, you might already have tried to open up a blank document and then get the AI to write the document for you, and it can be difficult. That's not to say there aren't use cases where this works, but they can be harder to get to. A much more immediate use case for many organizations is to use AI to read and summarize about all of the text you already have in your organization. Hi, my name is Franz. I'm the CTO of New Orbit. I'm here to talk to you today about how to use AI to read and reason about text. It's not a technical video. I'm just going to give you a few use cases to hopefully inspire you to see how you can use it for yourself. Let's get into it. The first and most simple scenario is simply to use an LLM to summarize longer documents. Now, if you have an AI-enabled word processor, you may already have used it to write an executive summary. Now, this gets really interesting when you do it more systematically at scale. Now, some examples we have looked at include the following. So, for example, summarizing job descriptions for use in job listings on a job board, or you could use the AI to summarize the job candidates, their CVs, their cover letters into a few sentences to show in a list in an applicant tracking system. Or indeed, you could use the AI to summarize support cases so that you can see a long list of support cases and then quickly get an overview of what each case is about and maybe even where it's at. And finally, you might also have a lot of business processes and it might be hard to find the right ones. And again, you can use AI to summarize those to make it easier to see in a long list to help people find the right processes. Now, LLMs are surprisingly good at finding and extracting structured information from long-form text. As a general rule, if you can instruct a fresh graduate to read a bunch of documents and then extract the key bits of information about each document and add them into a spreadsheet, you can probably get an AI to do that. So we have looked at a few examples. So one example is to get the AI to read call transcripts and then get a customer satisfaction rating from each call. And indeed, you can also ask the AI to categorize these calls into predetermined categories. So that's a pretty easy and very useful use case for that. We have also looked at using AI to read technical descriptions of medicines to extract things like the active ingredients, the target conditions, the dosage, those kind of things. Again, doing it at scale, reading hundreds or thousands of different medical descriptions and building up a database with these extracted key bits of information. Now, this last use case is a bit more technical, and I will cover it in a little bit more detail. I do apologize in advance. It's generally the case that most organizations have a lot of information tied up in text, in Word documents, in emails, in all sorts of things. And you can use AI to quickly find the relevant information to a particular question and read that information, become an expert like instantly, and then answer the user's question. So let's have a look at that and how that works. So some examples of the kind of information I'm talking about might be you might have your policies, processes, employee handbooks, those kind of things, and users might need to ask fairly complex questions about those, like what's my holiday entitlement or those kind of things. You can have maybe documents and emails and calls about a specific customer. And you might want to be able to ask questions about that customer and how your organization has dealt with them. And you want to be able to access all of this information, all of this history instantly, and then be able to reason about it really fast without having to manually go and read it all, of course. Similarly, you might have for your products, you could have product information sheets, FAQs, all sorts of history and information about products that you can use to find answers. But the problem is always you've got to find the right bit of information in the right place. You then got to read it, absorb it, compare it to other bits, and in order to be able to answer the questions. Now, AI can help with all of that. So the way that works, again, sorry, this, as I did say, this gets slightly bit more complicated, but I'll cover this really quite quickly. So the general idea is it starts with the user wanting to ask a question. Now you can set this up so that it's like a chat, so the question can go back and forth and the user can ask refining questions. Then you take that question and all of that history, you send it to a large language model, which will then summarize what the user really wants to ask into a condensed question based on the history and everything else. We take that, we call that the intent, we send that to different AI-based retrieval techniques. So it's not like search like traditional keyword search. This is all AI based in the sense that you can get the AI to search by meaning. So you can find information that matches the meaning, even if it doesn't use the same keywords or tags or anything like that. And there's a whole bunch of different mechanisms you can use. Some are very focused on finding specific detail. Some are very focused on finding like summaries, or even all the way up to things that can reason across your documents. So we use those techniques to find relevant bits of information from all of those documents that you have, all of the text you have. We then take, say, the top, say 10 or 20, and we run them through another specialist language model, which will then re-rank the information to find the most important, say, 3 or 4 bits of information that's most relevant to the question. And then we will get that to another large language model, maybe ChatGPT, that's a good one for this. It will then read this information, absorb it, look at the question from the user, and then it will write and return the answer. That's essentially how these kind of things work. And it's how things like ChatGPT works or so on, if when they look at things on the internet. But you can build that on your private data. And that really is the key to this thing. And this is very powerful, but as you can see, it requires a bit more work than the other two. So I hope I've piqued your interest. Maybe there's something here that you think you can use in your organization. So what's the next thing you can do? What's available today, and where can you go from here? So let's just have a look at that quickly. So firstly, the techniques I've described today, they are available today. They're evolving rapidly, but you can take these tools and techniques and you can use them today. You don't have to wait. Now, if you know how to use these tools, you have access to them, and you have the right skills, then it's really very fast to prototype these things. It's not like in the olden days when it took months to build an AI prototype. You can often do this in days or weeks very quickly. In fact, the biggest problem is usually getting access to the documents. That said, to go from a prototype to a production-ready implementation, that does tend to require a fair bit more work. It's maybe surprisingly not primarily an AI problem. I mean, that's definitely there, but you have to start thinking about data ingestion pipelines and user interfaces and testing and security and all of those kind of things. So there's a lot there to make it production ready. It is really important to stress the security and the confidentiality. You will probably be aware that if you go on to, say, ChatGPT's web interface and copy and paste text in, then that text can be used to train the model. So it's just important to understand that the way you use the large language model of your choice needs to be such that the data won't be leaked and it will be kept secure and private to you. And again, that's something that is definitely to want to look into and make sure you get right. And then finally, and often overlooked, is you need to test your solution for validity. As you probably know, LLMs are prone to what's called hallucinations or bugs in old school software. Now, there are ways you can reduce the risk of that, and you can tune your solution to give you the better answers. And it's not like traditional software testing, because you get text-based answers back that changes, but there are methodologies and frameworks out there that can help you fine-tune and test your solution and make sure that it performs the way it should do. I hope this has sparked your interest in how you can use large language models to read and reason about text and indeed other content as well. If you have any specific questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below. If you have a particular use case in mind and want to discuss it with somebody, please get in touch. Neorbit is an experienced software development partner that has worked with dozens of organizations to bring ideas from concept all the way into live production systems that are running whole businesses these days. So you can either contact me directly or go to our website, neorbit.co.uk/AI. Thank you for watching.